All right, blue-green elves. I love, as a filthy casual at heart, I love Simic, and Incubation Incongruity is just so incredibly Simic. This deck has some of the sweet climb-style draws with Hadana's Climb and Incubation or Growth Chamber Guardian. We also have Beast Whisperer to allow us to draw through our deck and play a bunch of cards. We have Steel Leaf Champion to lean into aggressive draws. We have End-Raze Forerunners here, which can let us kind of a big top end to flip a piggy into play. Anywho, let's dive into some matches and see how it goes. We played a bunch of different elves iterations on stream between this season and last season. We've played green-black, we've played green-white, we've played green-red. Green-blue is the best combination that I've played so far. Really like the inclusion of both Incubation as pseudo-removal that also provides selection, as well as Climb for jumping over stalled boards. So leading on our creature that makes mana here, so we can play Beast Whisperer on 3 and then start playing out other elves to draw cards here. Smells like Sultai. I think this matchup's kind of okay for us on average. If they don't have Finality really quickly, we're in a really good spot. If they don't kill this, it's gonna bury them pretty fast. Draw a land here. Maybe I'm supposed to play Thorn Lieutenant here, because I wouldn't mind trading Thorn Lieutenant for one of these. Or if you see him take Beast Whisperer, yep. Incubation Incongruity just showing some of its power in terms of the flexibility that it offers here. It's able to be a removal spell when we need it. They are 2 turns away from finalitying this board. If they attack with all of these, I'm going to double block their 3/3, although I imagine they're going to pump the brakes here now. It's a real shame we didn't hit any more lands this game. To be able to get End-Raze going this turn. I don't really have a way to push anything out of finality range here, but I think I want to just, like, draw some more lands so I can, like, get into the End-Raze Forerunners eventually. Like, all of these, like, even if they finality next turn, like, all of these drawing cards is, like, a big deal. They're just replacing themselves, so, like, even if they kill the board, they're just, like, all these cards drew cards for kind of at parity in terms of cards. Yeah, still have a 5/5 left over.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
So we're hoping to draw a land next turn so I can go Nurturer into Thorn Lieutenant. Alright, well, that's like kind of a land.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
She's up to 8 already, right? Yeah. Man, we are really bad at drawing lands. Hey, TZT, thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Needed to clear a couple of lands earlier that game in order to have a real shot there. Unfortunately, did not. The Krasis flies. So, we did not have a way to attack their Vivien, unfortunately. Want Frilled Mystic and Disdainful Stroke here. Is End-Raze. End-Raze lets us get through board stalls, which is nice. Nah, Dallas, you're being super results-based there. Just, like, taking anecdotal evidence and running away with it. Like, not only do we have ramp spells in our deck, but, like, think back to that game. We drew, what, 6 extra cards and missed on land still? It costs mana to activate the Wing Temple. A lot of people think it's free, but it costs 3 mana to activate this, so the line you're talking about wasn't a line that was available to us. So it depends on what you're meaning, Dallas. So if you want to familiarize yourself with what's called a hypergeometric distribution, it'll give you the probability, so you can just not go off your gut instinct. And then you have to factor in like how many extra cards you're seeing too, right? This card doesn't really brawl well. Probably don't mind having a Negate in here too to stop their Viviens and their Disdainful Strokes. 29 creatures still. Yeah, it's probably fine. Vivien could maybe be okay here too, just to like grind through their Krasises and like draw us extra cards. I mean, we literally have 4 hard removal spells, Observer. We have four copies of Incongruity. Doesn't really get much harder removal than exile target creature. Wicket, thanks for the 2 months. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I'm gonna just play Climb this turn so I can go ahead and hold up extra mana next turn. It is hard removal when the entire rest of your deck is gumming up the board, Observer. That worked out real well. Like, when basically your entire deck is about like, making the board full of creatures, like, them having a 3/3 doesn't matter when, like, your entire board is, like, blocking that and bigger than it, right? It's probably gonna be a runaway here with them missing a land drop. I mean, Incongruity is a little bit different than Baffling End, because Incongruity gives them the creature whenever it replaces it with the creature, whereas Baffling End gives it to them when they die back. Yay, magic! We missed a land and died. They missed a land and died. On to the next one. Do I want Vivien? That's probably even worse in the draw than it is in the play. Let's go and run it back here. New Mulligan system sounds great. Anything that's aiming to reduce the variance in Magic the Gathering is a good thing. Magic's got a lot of variance by design. This hand's very good. It's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, Chalky. You have some draws that draw through your deck, and you have some draws where you just, like, beat them down with a climb. Alright, so probably... So I could do this. They have Disdainful Stroke in their deck. This triggers Nurturer. Oh gosh. The fact that I have the Nurturer in play actually lost me a card draw there. Because the Nurturer trigger meant that I couldn't play the Elf immediately after, which is a big deal. Alright, now that I hit the Beast Whisperer there with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wait a turn. They could kill my thing in response again here. We'll see. Feels like they have a removal spell again. Dude. They're also kind of running on E here, right? They don't have a lot else going on. Still their last card is Krasis, that is. So this Llanowar Elf notably gets Nurturer out of Finality range here, and then next turn we fart the Incubation Druid and get it out of Finality range. This is a Krasis for 5, yep. I think I hold on to the Druid of the Cowl here, just in case I draw another Whisperer. Probably the end of it. So we could still hit like a climb or something here. Steelers Champion's not terrible. And continue holding on to the Druid here just in case. Yeah, this is the tough part about playing against the Krasis decks, right? Like, the first Krasis draws the next Krasis, draws the next Krasis, it just kind of snowballs on you. Did them to either not have the follow-up or, like, have our early Beast Whisperers not die right away. First or second one there. Evening Holler, evening Roboto. If everyone's having a good Monday evening wherever you're at. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for dropping in today. Wrapping up the evening with some blue-green elves. Would Krasis do better than End-Raze in this deck? Well, those cards do functionally different things. So, we have 2 End-Raze in the main and we have 2 Krasis in the board. So, Krasis is a card that helps you grind out card advantage and go longer against the opponent. Whereas, End-Raze is a card that actually ends the game on the spot when you cast it most of the time. Hey, to Price, thank you very much for the very generous tier 3 sub. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Thanks for the support. So I'm going to lean on Incubation Druid here, because next turn if they don't hold the counterspell up, I can play Hadana's Climb, put a counter on the Druid, and then play Nurturer post-combat. DePrince tier 3 subs support me a whole lot extra, so you get to add a deck to my queue every single month with that sub, so be sure to submit one using the form on my website, or if there's one already in there, be sure to let me know what you'd like to bump up a whole lot. Krasis should be a Rodad. If the data from the Pro Tour this weekend showed anything, it's that all the decks in the current format are fine and nothing really needs to be changed or removed. Little pig, let me in, let me in. So do I... What's going on, Aether Vial? Twitter exists solely to annoy people, basically. Like, this is a great example of, like, think about End-Raze Forerunners versus Krasis here, right? Like, End-Raze Forerunner coming down next turn and just, like, ending the game on the spot sounds really fantastic, right? Nice, Epic. Well, that's rude. So let's Whisper and then Nurturer. It's still early in the format. This was just a late season Mythic Championship that we had. This format is very, very mature at this point. We're a month away from a new set, right? Now, are we 2 months away? It's 2 months away. We're halfway through. Driving in my pig beep beep. Oh, yeah. Let's see Krasis do that, chat. Let's see Krasis do that, shall we? Just boop, boop. All right, this is not a Beast Whisperer matchup. All right, so I know the pig was really good there, but I do think we're supposed to cut pig in this matchup just because they are going to, they have fogs in their deck, cards that prevent all combat damage, so I think that the pig being good there is probably the exception and not the rule, although it did feel good to have happen. I've got Crushing Canopy and Reclamation Sage for Wilderness, so I think that's enough. I already have 63 cards in my deck, so I probably need to trim something as is. Yeah, Incubation's probably an okay trim. It finds Rec Sage and Frilled Mystic, but it's probably not good enough reason to keep all 4 of them. And I'll trim a Druid of the Cowl, just because it's not very good ramp. Let's do that. I think I'd rather trim Druid of the Cowl than Incubation Druid. Bub Jing, thanks for the Prime support. Hope you're having a good one. Happy Monday. Do you have different times of day that I do Modern or Legacy? Yeah, we do a Modern or Legacy, and we do a Modern or Legacy League every day to start things off. So I usually go live about 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. And you can always find all of my past videos on my YouTube channel as always. But if you wanna catch it live, usually about 8 to 9:30 or so is Moto time in the mornings. Yeah, we tried Teamer and we tried Green-Red Elves. I just wasn't really impressed with what they had going on. Well, that's a really terrible non-bow. Just scry 5 cards to the bottom, play Evolving Wilds. Yikes. That's, yep. The Teamer Phoenix deck this morning was incredibly disappointing to not hold any punches. Was not very good. It's not even budget mana, right? Like they could be playing Simic Guildgate or the blue-green tapped land instead of Evolving Wilds. Like there's better budget mana choices than this. I don't know what Gunner Glass is. They're gaming glasses. Or are those like glasses that have like blue light filters built into them? Yellow anti-eye strain glasses. Yeah, I looked into some things like that and I ended up just, there's most computer operating systems have red light filters built into them these days. I have a red light filter built into my desktop. I think I just Incongruity here. And and then hold up Disdainful Stroke for next turn on their other Sphinx. Yeah, the wind's been real bad here, Punishing Waterfalls. Over the weekend, yesterday, we had like 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts down here in the cornfields. It got real dangerous. And the house I live in now, the new house, is like closer to the outskirts of town. So we're like right next to a field, so we hear the wind a lot worse than we did before. No blocks. Like an Apex esports player. We're a real esport, I swear. Alright, under pressure. Bum 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 butter dum bum. Do I get another turn? Stun Bum, thanks for checking in for the 7th month in a row. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Yeah, I agree. Incubation Incongruity is incredibly... It's everything garbage tier Simic decks have always wanted to get above garbage tier. Yikes. That's true. That's true. There's for people that aren't familiar, I've been at this a long time, and it's still adjusting to Magic being considered anything close to an actual esport is still strange for me. Oh gosh, we didn't even talk about the embarrassing Nexus shufflers over the weekend. So, judges were shuffling. Minriv, thank you for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. So there is a huge cardstock quality issue with foils in Magic, especially in recent years. And cards like Nexus of Fate only come in foil, but they warp to the point where they are incredibly marked, so you can tell what you're about to be drawing. So the fix in previous events, they issue a proxy card that's just a basic land with Nexus of Fate written on it, but they didn't want those proxy cards on coverage at the Pro Tour this weekend, the Mythic Championship. So they instead had the players play with the pseudo-marked cards in their deck, and they were just having judges be the ones to shuffle the decks in the feature match area to get around there being potential for abuse. Dream Eater is interesting. So that's, if you saw judges, it's funny. So the first time I saw them shuffling, I saw them shuffling a deck in Fabrizio on Terry's match, and I was like, oh, or no, Carvolio's match. That was the one. I was like, oh, they're just like shuffling for him because he's a cheater. And they were like, oh no, they're just shuffling for everyone that has Nexus. Okay, I get it. Goldfish is fine. Any site that has a functional deck export to Arena is preferred for submissions. Alright, we'll be done. Correct, Ivan. It's not a great solution. No, people off camera were using proxies. I assume they were still using proxies off camera. Alright, the fact that they have, like, Sphinx and Dream Eater in their deck makes me want this Vivien Reid for sure. What do I want to trim here? Let's do this. Hand's pretty reasonable. Needs to draw some lands, but if we hit some lands, it's very powerful. Reclamation Sage and Growth Chamber Guardian both good. We have a Frilled Mystic as interaction on the stack. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted for Christmas. We don't know that he cheats every tournament. We don't know that he didn't just make an honest mistake. But again, the problem is that once you have a history and have been banned for something like that, people are basically always going to assume the worst from you. It's just how it goes. I'm gonna go ahead and just do this and get more pressure into play here. Slow them down a little bit. So, the reason to play something like Spell Pierce versus Negate or Disdainful Stroke is for the sake of resource efficiency. So, Spell Pierce is a 1-mana counterspell, whereas those other things cost 2.
I didn't live through hell to lose. You can't stop nature.
So that's the problem, Deadpool, is that when you have a history of cheating, people are going to assume that every mistake you make is you cheating because, well, your context matters and, like, who a person is matters. So for people that are new to Magic, the player who's in the MPL and was in the Pro Tour top 8 this past weekend has been banned from Paper Magic for cheating before. Marcio. I'm leading on Rec Sage here before I play the Vivien. So that way, if they Essence Scatter it, I can down-tick the Vivien like this. Hadana's Climb and Steel Leaf both put lethal into play next turn, but this is better lethal against a bounce spell. There's 2 Krasis in the sideboard of this deck, Anarunk, for the matches where you want to be grinding. Negate. That's a good one. So, the problem with that, Chalky, is that you can't just, like, say we're gonna let you play again, but you have a dedicated judge for you, right? Because, that imposes a real cost on the tournament. Yeah, and, like, the issue is, like, maybe he genuinely just missed it, but, like, because he has a history, people are kind of rightfully assuming that he might be gaming the system. Should make him wear a hat. Yeah, just so you know, if you're new, you can watch him like a hawk. They are kind of taking steps in the right direction, though, because they did lifetime ban Alex Bertoncini, finally, so we did that for us. I mean, like, the future of cheatingless Magic is right in front of you, right? Like, there's no doubt in my mind that at some point the focus of all competitive Magic is going to be digital for the purposes of rules enforcement and other things. Correct, yeah. Like, the upside of not having to worry about cheaters while I played something like the Twitch Rival Tournament, just can't understate how awesome that was. Like, Carnival. Okay, I was like, what mana spell do they have? Like, main deck Duress? What's going on here? How is Unclaimed Territory useful in this deck? Unclaimed Territory, along with Incubation Druid, lets Incubation Druid make blue mana. So it lets Incubation Druid help cast Climb, which is nice. Can tell the day we're having by looking at the change. Yeah, the days we bat about 500, we just go up and down, right? So like, I think today we started about 95, and we're still at 95, so we've been winning about as much as we're losing. Yeah, the Esper Thieves deck is really sweet. Esper Pirates, or whatever you want to call it. I really liked where that list was. One thing I was thinking about in that build, that deck probably wants more cast downs or mortifies in the sideboard, so you have more ways to kill Tocatli Honor Guard. What's going on, Sarnak? Yeah, we had a bunch of big donations today, so I'm running a little bit late.
You're just fuel.
You can find Esper Pirates and tons of other fantastic decks on my website. Click video standard decks at the top. Is this even a good play? This like kind of lets this kill me next turn, huh? Maybe that's a bad play. That might have been a bad play.
Shiver my horns and hammer.
The best deck to climb with? I really like Temur Climb as a deck to climb with. Pun intended. Dead on board. Nope, that's not how dead on board works. I have a blocker. So we're dead. We're dead to a removal spell, but dead to a removal spell is different than dead on board.
A fair price.
Actually, we're not dead to a removal spell because this would make a 1/1. Figured it out. Wow, they didn't go first strike, so they have another play here. 4 or 5 mana play here then. Tide Taker, sure. Click video standard, and it will say Esper Pirates. Alright, well, if they don't rip out of this, we're definitely en route to stabilization here. It's very possible that the turn I played Steel Leaf Champion, I should have just played 2 2-mana creatures and not put the 5-drop into play. Well, yeah, so spells don't kill players. State-based actions kill players. Yeah, you have to discard the cards because you don't die until the spell finishes resolving. So state-based actions aren't checked mid-spell resolution. I actually think I'm just going to click submit here. I don't really know what the opponent's doing, and our deck's kind of proactive, so less is probably more. I mean, like, it's very easy to focus on the fact that, like, my opponent drew a Carnival Carnage if they needed to close that game out, but it's probably more correct to focus on, like, hey, I probably played the wrong creature. No, in a tournament, they could do exactly like I did there and say, okay, I concede before finishing resolving the spell. No, state-based actions are checked every time priority passes. So if you Lightning Bolt your opponent, they're gonna die while their Carnage is still in the stack. So every time a spell finishes resolving before the next spell in the stack would resolve or ability, state-based actions are checked. Seems real sweet on the play. Till our poor little elf dies. If this dies, we'll play this. If this lives, we'll play Nurturer. It's some carnage. It's a carnival. Poor Widow Elves. That's not the land we wanted for Christmas. I think I just do this. If they have another Carnival, I'll be sad. If they don't have Carnival, we could be in an okay spot here. Like, if we draw a land next turn, I get to go Beast Whisper into Thorn Lieutenant, which would be pretty great. That's a pretty bad beat. I really like to draw lands here. Perfect. Maybe they're out of removal after 3 of them. Yeah, looks like Mardu hero for the opponent. Yep. Down to 12. Incubation to start. See if we can find another Whisperer. Leaf Champion sounds good. I'm gonna go ahead and go Incubation Druid plus Thorn Lieutenant this turn. Because Thorn Lieutenant, if they kill it, it leaves a 1/1 behind, so we'll be able to trade with one of their hero tokens. The Gates deck was just the Gates deck off my website, Holler. That's brutal. Probably dead. Yeah, very dead. This is a strong start. A lot of removal into a very quick clock. Elves deck is looking to race more than anything. You beat 1 or 2 pieces of removal, but 3, 4, especially if they're backing up by pressure, usually just get too far behind. BP Ron, thank you for the Prime support. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Welcome, welcome. It hasn't really, Big Kitty. You've just been rubber banding all around the 90s. You lose 1, you go down 2, you win 1, you go up 2. It just kind of goes back and forth. We started about 95 today, if I recall. Thread Menace, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate the quarter of a year. Welcome back. And also, it's hard for something that actually doesn't matter to be an ouch. It's like one of those, this thing is actually irrelevant to us. Sweet. Didn't win the die roll, but have dupe into dupe into dupe. Hopefully find some spells in the middle. Have the eighth card Llanowar Elves hiding on top of our deck here. That's never lucky. You want to name our Twitch baby Nexus of Fate? Oh, but you want to get rid of it after you name it that. That's fine. If you get rid of it, you can name it Nexus of Fate. Thanks for the 9 months, Ed Ice. I appreciate it. Have I been streaming all day? Yeah, all day. Almost at 12 hours. Yeah, ranked resets at the end of the month. At the end of the month, they will crown the top 8 players, and the 9th place player will hopefully be able to live with themselves. Electro Dominance as a really terrible... Electro Dominance as 4 mana shock. Yikes. Well, this is why... I had a couple of people ask me why we don't play 4 climbs in the other climb deck. This is why you don't put 4 climbs in your deck, chat. Just don't do it. No one's gonna... Nobody who gets to top 8 is gonna not go to the Invitational. Nobody's gonna get to top 8 by mistake. The people that are going to be in the top 8 are people that are grinding endlessly to be there. Alright, so I have to go to 8 here. Sure, if it's not, I know, I get it, like, the actually you want to be pandemic or whatever it's called, and like say, actually the 9th place player could be in, well sure, then you extend and say, well then, it sucks to be the 10th place player, like, I get it. Pedantic, there you go, that's the word. You want to be pedantic because you're a Magic player and be like, actually, this is what, it's like, well, kinda, come on now. Actually, it's pedantic. Yeah, that one. I wonder if I'm supposed to play Incubation Druid there so I can make more mana with it next turn. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to Incubation Druid instead of Druid of the Cowl. Vorsmith, thanks for the quarter of a year. Enjoy the magic and the pink border is great. The pink border was a great touch, I agree. No, I don't like to do things half-ish around here. I like to go all the way. I'll put this into play tapped. I'm gonna go ahead and put a counter on here, I think, and then pass the turn. Do I need to flip the climb this turn? They draw a dragon. If they have a dragon, we're dead. Dead to dragons. Probably dead to Collision Colossus, too. Yeah, I agree. Wax Papers. They could have Banefire. Definitely did the Banefire. They could have Banefire and wondering if they're supposed to, like, wait a turn. That's kind of scary. Great. Can I lethal with double Hadanas? I believe I was short mana to do that, right? Oh, I think you're totally right. I could have. No, I don't have one flipped yet. That's it. I have the mana. I don't have it flipped yet. So my goal here is to set up lethal Hadanas for the following turn, basically. Yeah, you have to have the first one flipped over is the thing. So hopefully they activate Ooze and pass here. And then we kill them with the second climb next turn. 2 climbs deal 4x plus 2 damage. So I need to untap with one of these 5/5s and Incubation Druid. And then if they don't have a flying creature, they will be dead to double climb. That being said, we're about to die to Collision Colossus. I think. Non-striped zebra, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Kill me. Hey, Beer Guide. Thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, blue mana. Climb. I mean, some people, when board states get really big, kind of like lock up and don't really digest the big board states well. So just like simplifying the board state, they hope they're just like far enough ahead that simplifying the board state does it for them. Don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. All right. Is it crazy to just click submit here? Is it crazy to just click submit? I think I just click submit. Yeah, run it. Like maybe Disdainful Stroke is fine. Maybe Disdainful Stroke is fine. Double climb takes 9 mana and deals 4x plus 2. Get him. Literally 22 because the Beast Whisperer's power was 22. What's going on, hot guy from Babylon? Thanks for the 3rd of a year. Feels only like yesterday. I shared 3 months. Zuchin, thanks for the 4. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. This hand might be a little bit slow. It depends on how interactive they are. If they're interactive or aggressive, we could get run over here. Llanowar Elves on the play is so good in these Llanowar Elves mirrors. Just like fall behind very quickly. This is probably going to be a Cowl into Nurturer's hand just so I can get my mana off the table. Like whether or not you play Nurturer on 3 or Beast Whisperer definitely hinges around like how fast you need to be going. Colt, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Just keeping me around. With them. Okay. Yep. Let's do this to start. If they don't have removal, we could be okay. So we're going to take 6 on this attack. And the next turn I go Beast Whisperer into a 2-drop. So that's a good draw. I think I'd prefer to get Beast Whisperer going here and get Nurture chunking up rather than using this right away. If they have another copy of Rekindling Phoenix next turn, I'm going to be in trouble, but other than that, we're okay. Do they have to go somewhere? Maybe they just really didn't want to watch me sit there and draw cards. Yeah, it felt a little bit spooky, right? I don't like to assume people are ghosting, but like the first attack felt like they know they're dead next turn attack. Yeah, I don't know. Where the point we're playing it on the ladder, it's just like ghosting really isn't meaningful because we're not really playing for anything. I'm gonna keep the Druid of the Cowl on top here, so this way in case they kill my elf on 1, I still have something to do on 2. Beats Whisperer. Beats by Dr. Elf. Is Beast Whisperer better than Growth Chamber Guardian here? I don't think it is. I guess I can go Beast Whisperer this turn and get Druid of the Cowl going next turn. I think I want to just get Growth Chamber Guardians going. So like this sets me up. This sets me up to like pop off a Forerunner with a lot of creatures in play next turn or 2 turns from now if they don't have interaction. 4-color Vanathir. All right, well I'm glad I drew this, I guess. All right, so if I do this, I can pop this off, take action, and then I can tap this and this to play this out. And then I can Incongruity this. And then next turn I can Floop the Pig. But you didn't let me Floop the Pig, opponent! Why does everybody have to be such a buzzkill, chat? I just wanted to Floop the Pig. Okay, for those of you at home that haven't seen us Floop the Pig on stream before, I'm gonna let you down real harsh here. There's no pig animation. You can and should petition the MTGA developers to ask why there is not a pig animation, but all that is there after the pig floops into play is disappointment, I promise. It's just disappointment. All the Timmy cards should have sweet animations, chat. It should be a rule. Is it a Timmy card? Give it a sweet animation. Huh. I think I'm gonna keep this because Incubation is basically a 2-drop. Like, there's 11 mana creatures in my deck, so like, good chance that this or one of my 2, I have 7 chances to find a mana creature. Yeah, perfect. Sounds good, Deep Race. Usually I respond to submissions every day after I'm done, but today I'm running kinda late, so I might not get back to you till tomorrow. It's a beta. I don't care if it's a beta. My pinky needs an animation. Like, do we need to Kickstarter a pig animation? Is that what you're telling me? They just don't have the resources so far. I will Kickstarter the crap out of a pig animation. Llanowar Elves is actually a great draw here, because it means I can play Beast Whisperer and then immediately draw a card, which is great. Perfect. Let's go digging. Gosh, we have so many choices at every turn with this card. Is it just Beast Whisperer, or do I take the Forerunner? I think I'm supposed to take Beast Whisperer and Snowball Velocity here. I got this Nurturer in play too. They're going to get Ooze going, and we can probably still just beat them. It's rare that you can outgrind Ooze, but I think we're going to be able to outgrind Ooze here. It is almost 8 o'clock here in the cornfields. I just exile this stupid thing. I'm probably just supposed to exile this stupid thing, right? Yeah, Simic's the wet fart guild. All of Simic is wet farts. There's like just tribal wet farts. Palaka worm. That's a biggin. Those are 3/3s, rude. Trample. Yeah, they're a Vein of Fear deck. I think I played this just to draw 2 cards, and it makes this bigger too. Remember, I can keep the old Nurturer. Choose a permanent to keep. It was literal divination. It was divination make my thing bigger, right? Wow, that is incredibly unfortunate. Alright, so we just need to survive this combat step so I can double climb next turn. Need to not die this turn, and then if they don't have a blocker, we kill them with climb. And we'll deal, what, 4x plus 2, so it'll be 42 coming from this. I'll go to 2. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 42. It's all about the climb, chat. It's all about the climb. Doken. They didn't have any cards in hand. I didn't play around anything when they attacked there because they were out of cards. Why attack when you can make 42 mana? Kapow! Cowabunga, dudes. Lethal commander damage. Alright, let's play one more at those, then we're gonna wrap it up. We just crossed the 12-hour mark here, and I've got probably another 2 hours worth of work to do before I go to bed tonight. So let's play one more and then we'll call it a day. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Hope everyone's having a great Monday. It's almost 1,900 people in here. Thanks for being a part of the stream this evening. We did stream some over the weekend. I streamed Saturday night, so if you didn't catch the Saturday night stream, be sure to check out the replay of that on my YouTube channel. Beast Whisperer sounds great. I'm gonna do this into this. You 12 hours every day so I can get you after work. I might do another 12-hour later this week, but probably not tomorrow or Wednesday. Probably not tomorrow or Wednesday. Maybe Friday. We'll see. Mondays. Viewer count's usually a little bit higher on Mondays, so I like to do longer on those days if I can. This little piggy went wee all the way home. I think that's probably... Maybe I'm just supposed to take a 2-drop so I can draw more cards with the Beast Whisperer. I watching, Xion. Hope you're having a good one. It's gonna be a Blink of an Eye. Blink of an Eye is like really tedious and annoying, so maybe I should have taken a cheaper card here. Blink could prevent us from ramping up too much. Hopefully we draw a land next turn or a 1-mana elf. So... this is an okay draw, because paired with Climb, this gives us a lot of mana. End-Raze also can be kind of medium, because it looks like we're playing against a Wilderness Reclamation deck, which means that they could just fog this attack. Why are they in the tank on this one? They must have Sinister Sabotage. Maybe I'm supposed to lead on Incubation Druid there. So I'd rather Incubation Druid resolve than Hadana's Climb, I think. So maybe leading on Druid there is correct, because that's the more important of the two cards to me. Okay, that's a good draw. Means I get to draw a card with the Druid of the Cowl here, which is nice. How many more matches? This is the start of our last match of the evening, Turkey Sloth. Second Climb. You have a Blink of an Eye here. Yeah, that timing on Blink seems a little suspect. I definitely was thinking about putting another counter on that, so they could have like denied me a 1/1 counter here by like waiting to see what I was targeting before they blinked. Small missequencing on their part. Have I considered music in the background? Did you know that your computer is capable of running more than one software application at once? It's really novel how fancy these machines are today. Skullmorn, thanks for the 8-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, it lets people choose their own music over forcing them to listen to my music. Also, most of the music people prefer to listen to is stuff that I don't have the rights to stream. So if you ever go into a Twitch streamer's, like, if you've ever looked at a Twitch streamer's past broadcasts and their broadcasts have audio muted out of them, that means they're streaming music that technically breaks their Twitch partner agreement. That's why it's getting muted. It's getting muted because Twitch doesn't have permission for them to be playing that music. Oh no, they sabotaged my divination. That's sad. I heard Green Day referred to as classic rock. I have bad news for you. It kinda is classic rock. I really like Arena's ambient music too, for the record. I think they've done a good job with the sound design of this game, not only the wet fart sound effects, but also the ambient music. And again, like, it's annoying that they're sitting here casting Nexus of Fate, but they're not actually, like, meaningfully progressing their border game state here, right? So that's nice. We're gonna see a opt into a Nexus or Wilderness Reclamation. Yeah, they mute the VOD. The Switch bans too much filing, that kind of thing? No. So far, eventually someone's gonna get sued for lots of money and Amazon or Twitch will get dragged into it probably, and then they'll take a stricter stance, but for now, they take a pretty hands-off approach and they just mute people's VODs. Great, they're doing stuff. This is the part where we twiddle our thumbs. Either they die or they brick off. Either they brick off or they kill us. One of the two. So they're not quite at Search for Azcanta territory, but they are drawing cards with these Memorials to Genius. If they get a Search for Azcanta going, we'll probably call it a day. But for now, they're kind of still just spinning their tires. I'm gonna go ahead and let them hang out here while I shuffle my wonderful shuffling deck here. As we wrap with the last match of the evening and we're waiting to find out if we're dead, these people are wonderful. Thank you for checking out and considering buying their stuff. These people, also wonderful. Thank you for checking out and considering buying their stuff. Opponent, still contemplating if we are dead. Second Wilderness Reclamation. Yes, technically a streamer could purchase permission to the things that they want to stream. I believe Ninja had to go through and do that at one point, because he's pretty big. He does things by the book, I believe. Am I shuffling a playable deck? This deck is technically legacy legal. Yeah, while my opponent figures out their stuff here, as we draw our opening 7 here, you'll see we have the Deepwood Drummer paired with the Basking Rootwalla. That's what we like to call a combo in the biz. Get a seventh card in here, another basic mountain. The old diligent farmhand helping us out here as well. Are we done? Can I be done here? I think I've reached the point of being bored. I think I've reached the point of being bored. All right, they've got 2 turns in a row. I guess they don't have any card draw here. If they play a Chemist's Insight, I'm gonna leave. If they play anything else that lets them see more cards, we'll be done. But if they don't play things that let them see more cards, we still have a chance. I'm so confused. Oh, they have an Azcanta, so we're done. Where's my coloring book opponent? I am super offended at the lack of coloring book. They're still just spinning their tires, and this is the miserable part about the Nexus deck, right? It's not even the fact that like we're not winning a game; it's that we don't know if we're losing the game, and we have to sit here with our thumb up our butt wondering. And in a competitive tournament, not only would you be sitting here wondering, but you have to watch them shuffling their deck, which is just miserable. All right, now I'm gonna concede if they cast Nexus of Fate, because with flipped Search for Azcanta, they get to get 12 flips every turn. So if they have Nexus of Fate, we'll concede. They win by attacking you with Hydroid Krasis. They literally just take all the turns and attack you with a 5/5. This is the part where they cast Fog during my upkeep. So, like, I kind of got a turn, but we didn't actually get a turn because they have Root Snare. And, like, we're still not guaranteed to die, but at the same time, just, like, I've had enough of it. So, let's move along with our lives. Like, this is very boring. Let's move along. Moving on up. Do-do-do-do. To cut all of our top end and bring in a bunch of counter spells here. I don't actually think this matchup's that bad for decks like ours. Like, we have pressure and we have counter spells and we have ways to destroy enchantments, but it's still just tedious to play against. I really hope so, Evan. I agree. I really hope so. This hand just doesn't do anything. It's not fast and doesn't have any disruption. This hand both has some disruption and has Llanowar Elves on the play. Let's do it. Yeah, Nexus before Reclamation though was like a fringe tier 2 deck. Was not anywhere near what it is today. The Gift of Paradise Teferi version was like tier 2 at best. Like, when decks like that exist in the format and aren't good, they're, like, interesting and neat thing that happens occasionally. When they're this thing that happens every single tournament, they're just genuinely miserable. Yep. My poor Widow Spell Pierce. Ooh, that's a good draw. This is exactly what you need to beat these decks. You need Disruption backed up by a clock. So I'm gonna hit them for 9 next turn. So fun is a super subjective metric, which is why I like to try and describe things when I think they're not okay in more objective manners, like this is tedious. Or, I guess tedious is subjective, or like this takes a lot of time. Time measurement is something you can measure objectively, right? The duration it takes for you to kill people. Is Climb lethal? I don't think Climb is lethal. Land is not. Oh, land is lethal because of Thorn Lieutenant. Yep. Well, I was hoping to draw a copy of Frilled Mystic there. So we had lands and counter spells that were good draws there. We bricked off a little bit. And now, like, do you have a Root Snare to, like, buy you another turn, or are you dead? You're just dead. And again, just like that just exemplifies like the you know, it feels bad even though we won, so it just feels like they got unlucky, right? Dr. Leppy, thanks for the 5 months, I appreciate it. Welcome back. Let's run them down one more time here. Our efficient green beaters and our counter spells. Pierce me, baby. Or we're piercing them, right? They're not piercing us. That's true. At least we don't have to wait for them to shuffle. At least we don't have to wait for them to shuffle. That's the one thing I'm not looking forward to in paper this weekend is watching the Nexus players shuffle their decks over and over again on Saturday. That does not sound like a good time. Whoop. Yeah, see, it's just super slow and missing blue mana, right? Pretty easy mulligan here. This hand is very reasonable. We're gonna see, this is our first time tonight it's come up that Incubation Druid making blue mana for Climb off of Unclaimed Territory is relevant. Our hand's actually pretty good here. We've got Incubation Druid into Crushing Canopy and Frilled Mystic here, which is quite fantastic. They growth spiraled and missed a land, so that's fantastic for us. Hey, look, their deck's just not working. So now we climb. Climb targets Incubation Druid. We say no attacks. Post-combat Incubation Druid cast this. This game is very over. Give a bounce spell. Sure. So, use this to activate this. Grab another one of these. Play this on Elf. Use this, target this. Go get a Growth Chamber Guardian. Attack with this. Crushing Canopy or search for it. Scanta, Growth Chamber Guardian. Yeah. This deck. The Incubation Druid Climb interaction is real strong. Especially when you have other things to do with it. Like I said, I don't think this matchup is bad for this deck by any means. So if you want to play a deck that stuffs Nexus in a box, I think this is a great choice for it. Yeah, Guardian. I mean, like, in this deck, like, Guardian is good just with Climb in general, right? It's, like, part of why the Teamer Climb deck is good, too. I definitely think this is my favorite build of Elves, but obviously you can get picked apart some of the times, like we did in some of the matches we won. I think we ended up winning a little bit over half. So the problem with Incubation, Climb, and the Teamer Climb deck tracks is that you just don't have room for it alongside the Wild Growth Walker package, and the Wild Growth Walker package is just too worthwhile for beating all the aggro decks, so... I do think Incubation Incongruity is a great way to find more Beast Whispers, lets us play a couple End-Raze as a finisher, and if you're looking for a fun way to play Elves in Standard, this is definitely my preferred version. If you haven't seen this deck before, this is one of the many awesome deck lists you can find on my website. Click Standard Decks up there. In fact, I'm gonna self-shill for half a second for people that don't take the time to go to my website. My website is wonderful, and I spent a lot of time. When you click Standard Decks here, you'll find a ton of pages with all these pretty artworks. We click here on Elves. You'll find a short description of the deck, my current deck list here that you can easily export to Magic Arena. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, here's videos of me playing not necessarily this specific deck list, but different iterations of this archetype. So Jund Elves, End-Raze Elves, Green-Red Elves, all sorts of different Elves decks in the format. There's a ton of great things up here. If you ever miss any of my broadcasts while I'm streaming live, you can also click videos and go to Standard, and this page is actual everything that I've streamed, all cut up by deck lists. In fact, after I sign off here in a moment, I'm going to start adding more videos to here now. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll be back tomorrow morning about 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, about 12 hours from now, and hope to see you then. Everybody have a good Monday and have a fantastic start to your week. Take note, Watsy. Yes, unlike the official Wizards of the Coast website, my website can export to the Arena format.